Welcome to How Can It Be, where we're bringing experts in different fields to learn about what it really takes to do what they do. I am your host, Carlos Guerrero, and today we have Russ here, a distinguished entrepreneur in the stretch selling business with over 20 years of experience. He is the one and only in the industry running a multi-million business based in the US. His impressive portfolio includes projects with clients such as Ferrari, Balenziaga, luxury cruise ships, airports, casinos, and high-end residentials. Russ is here today to talk to us about how hard can it be to run a multi-million-dollar business. Russ, welcome, sir. How are you?
Hi, good to see you.
So, Russ, tell us, how did you get here where you are today?
So normally, like every entrepreneur, you start working yourself hard way, without money, pushing hard, and do everything yourself, wearing all the hats yourself. Step by step, by being simply, persistent, pushing it hard, and not sleeping well, just pushing it.
When did you figure out that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Well, that started actually right from the moment I was like in my 20s. My first business was started. I was at the first course of business administration in the university, where I understood right away after being just 3 months employed that I cannot work for somebody. I just have to do it myself.
I got through the same experience. Like, I didn't want to have a boss. Do you had an experience that you didn't want to have a boss, that you had experience that you don't want to work for somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. The experience was after 3 months of working for somebody, I kept coming back every couple weeks to the guy, the owner, and who is a billionaire right now, actually. Wow. And he is the number one in Lithuania in trucking and logistics business. So I kept coming back to him and said, listen, I'm ambitious. I can make it happen better when I'm at right now. Give me a better position. And the guy said, wait, hold on. You just started with me. I'm like, dude, I really want it. Give me something this. I can do this. And he's like, no, wait. And I said to myself, I cannot handle this. And just how I started. We just discussed this with somebody recently, situation that I just rented a space, I think the size of this room, and started hiring step by step. All I had at that moment in Lithuania is around $300 or $400.
Wow.
To buy a fax machine and to start running my business.
That's how long he started, a fax machine.
Yeah.
Who uses a fax machine nowadays, right? But for his business, that's what he needed, a fax machine.
At that moment, that's how we signed the contract. We have DocuSign, we have all the possible seals. The moment that was the fax machine, I don't use emails anymore.
Oh, wow.
Why? Because, WhatsApp messages, you have too many, tools to communicate, so you can get lost. So basically, if you want to reach me out, it's a WhatsApp right now.
Oh, nice. I love WhatsApp too. And I love the chats too. Those chats, sometimes they drive you a little crazy. If you guys know what.
You can throw some, I like throwing some video messages, it's kind of more authentic instead of just texting. So yeah, that was 20 years ago when I started being a...
So let's get this straight. So basically, you go to your boss back then. You tell your boss, hey, I know I could do more. Hey, I'm built for more. I'm built to be a leader. I'm built to do more. Give me the opportunity. Your boss says, no, you just started with me. So at that time, you say, you know what? I'm going to pivot. And I'm going to basically do something on my own because I deserve more. I want more. I know I could do more. You go on your journey on your own. This is 20 years ago. Then you started your business. You get like a little office the size of this room. Then you buy your fax machine. How did the idea come? Like, what was the business back then? Because maybe the business changed from what it is today.
Well, at that time, I was acting as a broker of international loads, logistics. So that was, like you would find somebody who wants to ship something to somewhere in Europe, and then you would find somebody who would do that for you. And you keep the difference, and pretty much that was the business.
And how long were you in the business for? Because that successful business that you're doing today is totally different. And I could relate to that because I have opened so many businesses and so many of them have failed.
Absolutely.
But that's how you learn, right? You get back up and learn. So how long were you in the business? What happened and how did you go to the next business?
So 2008.
Oh, yes. Everybody got hurt in that one.
So that's where you get slammed big time. Your ambitions, your ego, where you think you are a young entrepreneur and you have a lot of money, you have cars,
Top of the world.
Top of the world. And then you get slammed just like that because nobody taught you this. And I got bankrupt.
Wow.
I got bankrupt, and right away, it took me another 2 months to start another business.
That was your big why. You needed to basically get back on your feet. And that's the entrepreneur life, right? And I could relate very to the story because I also almost went bankrupt. Actually, I did go bankrupt. I mean, I didn't file for bankruptcy, but I had to basically shift my business. So at that time, so you're basically a broker. Your business goes down because we had a major recession worldwide. So business goes down, there's no service. So how do you pivot and how do you go to the next business? Because what you're doing now is totally different than brokerage. How'd you get in that business?
So I actually had a conversation yesterday with my wife. And one of my rental properties, it got vacant, and she wanted to show somebody, and the guy couldn't open the lockbox. And my wife says he cannot open the lockbox, and I'm not there, and nobody's there, no real estate agents. How are they gonna do that? I'm looking at her, and right away, automatically, as an entrepreneur, you're giving solutions. You're not giving problems.
Yes.
So it takes me 1 second, say, go on YouTube and find how to open the lockbox and send it to them. That's it. That's how you do it. And she comes back to me in a moment and says, you know what? That's what I don't have. You find the solution right away. And it's automatic. It's right here. It's the way my brain already operating.
Yeah, as a business entrepreneur.
Fast. If you delay, if you act long way, just nothing gonna happen. And the same way, it's something which is inside. Of course, you can develop that, but it's something that's inside where you're looking for a solution. Of course, there's a lot of fears of failure, for example. And that's one of them which pushed me to act this way fast, make decisions fast, because I had this fear of failure, not sleeping, consuming alcohol, basically being afraid of being a loser.
Yeah.
The society actually looking at you as well, and you're young and you fail, damn, I can handle this. So you push yourself to that perspective of, I cannot afford of failing. So you find another way. And now, what I think, if something doesn't go wrong, it's completely fine to go ask for help, and it's completely fine to change the direction.
Yes.
Nobody gives a fuck about you.
Or your excuses.
It's only your resistances, your excuses you dealing with, and any resistance is on your way. It could be a technical resistance, it could be your family, it could be anything else. Money is not an issue. If you have a great idea, you go get it, you go get it done. The problem is your ambitions and your goals, how high you set the goals. Of course, you can set impossible goals, but those goals you set high, you definitely going to achieve. And if you break them down into little sections, for example, I have my goal to have 50 doors rental properties by the age of 50. I have 10 years to accomplish that. And there are so many. I just had a catamaran trip in the Caribbean. I already have on my goals in the next 5 to 10 years on the long-term goals that I'm going to have a catamaran, which costs, $1.3 million right now, but I want exactly this one and I'm going to go get it. So set the goals in business and you will get it.
Some people don't understand that about like your wife. She doesn't have the mentality of the solution, find the solution, like focus on the solution, because everybody has problems. So I love what you said about the solution, be it quick act. So you're back there, you're in the bankruptcy, 2 months, you basically started this new business, right? How did you start the business? How were you able to grow your business from where you're at? Because today you're very successful in your stretch business. How did that happen? Then you had to move to the US. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's all about how big you want to go. In Lithuania, I've reached the point where I joked always that I'm in the ceiling business and I reached the ceiling.
I love that.
And it's just too much. You outgrown the market. You are the most expensive guy in the market with this product. And that was a time where my green card was about to expire. There was like 2 months left and I had a green card since 2003. So I said to myself, let me try, go back to US. I put my jacket on. If I fly into New York City and they're gonna let me in and I'm extend my green card, I said to myself, I gave myself a promise. I gotta do something with this and I'm gonna come back and run the business here. And that was an opportunity for me because I was out of this market already, too small for me.
Got it.
So I fly in. They take me to the room, 10 minutes, 15 minutes waiting. The officer says, come back. Says, welcome back home.
Wow, I love it.
That's all I did. I came back home. Took me a few weeks to make sure I have my documents ready. Come back to Lithuania and said to my wife, we're going to United States.
Nice. Pack up, let's go.
She was not really happy.
I bet.
You got a nice house, you got your, cars, whatever this society says you need to have. You have a mortgage, of course.
Yeah.
And that was a hard move for my wife because you have to prove now, not just to yourself, but you have to prove to the whole family that you're not going to fail,
which is
again.
I think failing is the biggest fear of any business owner, any entrepreneur. Where did you guys move when you guys moved over here? Was it Miami, New York? Where did you guys?
That was Miami, just because I'm a kite surfer. And I used to come over here to kite Key Biscayne.
Okay.
And spend some time, and I just liked the place. So we moved here just because of that. And then we started business from scratch. I had to install, I had to produce, after I did my installation, I had to put my jacket on and go knock on.
Go sell.
Carlos, say, Carlos, I'm the best guy in this business. I'm the CEO. I'm the big guy. When I'm done with my meeting, I will go back, put the installer's clothes and do install it.
Guys, that is how hard it takes to start your business and grow your business. Like, I love what you said at the beginning. You were wearing so many hats. This is what he meant by wearing so many hats. You're basically wearing the marketer hat, the installer hat, the distributor hat, that accounting hat, the salesperson. Every single hat, you're wearing it because you had committed yourself that you're gonna come to the US, you're gonna bring your business from over there. You had already hit the ceiling, and now you're gonna make it here. And 6-7 years later, you are making it here. You're like a proof that when you really set something in your mind and you set your goals and you do whatever it takes, you could do it. But obviously it comes with a lot of struggles and it comes with a lot of failures and a lot of responsibilities. Now, do you have some kind of story? Like, because I know when you grow a business, I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to build a team. I know how hard it is to train people. I know how hard it is to get everybody aligned. What was the hardest part for you from being you, wearing all these different hats in the first 2 years? Your revenues were probably, $300,000, maybe under $1 million when you first started. That's where you're gonna be at a one-man show. How did you jump to the next phase? How did you get to the 300,000? How did you get to the $1 million? How did you get to the $2 million? How were you able to, for the people here watching us?
So I got to the first $1 million simply by doing everything by myself. It was really tough, hard, 16 hours a day. That's tough doing business with no money, no support, no marketing money, basically no people, no team. And the problem is because most of the time, a small entrepreneur, they think that nobody else can do better than themselves. And that's the biggest mistake you can do. But it takes time to overcome this. It takes time to understand that you're not the best one. You might be the best salesperson in the company, but you're definitely not the best business owner or entrepreneur. So you got to choose in the company who you are. Are you entrepreneur? Are you sales? Are you installer? Who are you there? It may be temporary. You can run and, that type of a business, but eventually there's no way you can scale. There is no way you can, bring the revenue up. From the moment when you understand and realize that it's not going to happen, you're stuck, you have to take decisions.
Yeah.
In my case, the best decision was it's a personal growth. Investing a lot of time and money. You cannot believe how much money I invested there. I guess you know, right, Carlos?
100%. 100%.
When I took those steps, and the steps when you pass some of those hats to different people, that's where you probably start feeling, damn, I'm letting go. We're going to fail. We're going to lose money now.
The fear kicks in.
But you have to overcome.
100%.
There are definitely going to be mistakes. There are definitely going to be lost contracts. There are definitely going to be huge mistakes where you have to eat it. But the best thing you can do, and that's my advice to you, you always deliver. No matter what, you have always deliver. You have to eat that amount, whatever, how much, doesn't matter how much it is, $100,000. Once you prove that you are reliable, you will eventually get there and people will trust you. How do you get to a high end? How do you get people trust, paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars in front of you? You simply have to become one of them. They have to feel you, trust you. If you're not doing that, you're just gonna stay, working on the low end, low check, low money, quantity. That doesn't work for me.
So you go from a one-man show. How big is that organization today, counting all the companies and stuff like that, roughly?
In people right now, I think we're at 30 plus people.
That's amazing. So you discovered that the secret, because you started like every entrepreneur. I started the same way. You're a one-man show. You're wearing all these hats. You're having a hard time. You cannot scale. At some point, something clicked in you. You're like, you know what? I need to invest in myself. You start doing personal training, personal coaching. You start really learning from others that have already been there, which is the same process that I went through. So I could definitely relate to this. Then you start giving little hats to other people, and then you start growing your business. That is amazing. And that is the only way to grow your business, right? By delegating and counting on other people to do what you can do.
I always say you can start with one person. Learn how to delegate simple tasks with one person. That can be your assistant. I had virtual assistants. I had different admins, which I delegated my even personal tasks. The biggest thing, you have to learn how to start slow, move fast. So when you're delegating a task, you start by slowly explaining everything in details. You give the resources, and then you ask them for what is going to be, final, what's the destination, what's needed to be done, so the person understands what's exactly needed for that. If they don't understand, there's no way they're going to get there, because they're going to come back to you and disturb you again and again.
With problems and questions and problems.
Start slow, move fast. So you learn this way. You learn hard way. People fail, and that's completely normal. But failure is experience, and then you learn.
Yes,
Become better.
100%. I mean, I love the whole story about, how you came where you are right now. Now, today's episode is about how hard can it be to manage a multi-million-dollar business. You're obviously the owner of Building Designs. You guys have to check the ceilings. They're freaking amazing. I've seen them. I've seen the product. I've seen the lights. They're beautiful. They do great work. Very, very high-end finishes, stuff like that. So now that you're here, now that you have your over 30 people, you have grown your business to multi-million dollars in business, how hard is it now to basically manage your business? Because getting here, it was a nightmare. You had to give up a lot. You had to move your country. You had to move your family here. You had to wear all these different hats. You had to struggle right after going out of business, going bankrupt. So your journey has been very, very, very hard. But now, as your business keeps growing, every time you grow your business, there's new challenges. Now where you are right now, how hard it is to manage your multi-million-dollar business? Or what stories you have for us?
Well,
juicy stories.
Juicy story. The only thing that stops you from growing and scaling is you and yourself, nothing else. So once you understand that you actually at the bottleneck of this business and you cannot hire the right people, maintain the good vibe in the team. If you are the one, you have to start adding to your team people better than you, people who can solve the situation better than you. But the first thing is you start from yourself. Once you identify your problems, if you can deal with those problems, that's it. You become better and more interesting person in the marketplace. So to become to attract good business, to attract success, you have to become attractive and you start from yourself. The same way I can see you doing, Carlos, and I'm, smiling watching you, doing a great content because I know what you're doing and what you're going through, because we all entrepreneurs can relate. How hard can it be? I'll tell you, you are alone on that battlefield. Nobody supports you. Not even your wife gets what's in your mind.
They don't understand.
When you go sleep and your mind can't stop thinking of it. And then you have to go through...
I love this guy, Fernando, my brother.
But that's true. That's how it goes through.
He understands me.
I do.
I understand you too. Like everything that you have said so far is like, I live through it. I know it. I breathe it every day. People always see like the success, the cars, the house and stuff like that. But you still have to go through the battles here.
I'm sometimes watching you driving your Tesla. I'm like, okay, same thing. Exactly. So the fears pushes you. You can say this is confidence. I once had wife of my friend told me, you're cocky. And my English was so, it was in Scotland. We were doing a home show for the stretch ceilings. And I'm like, I went to the bathroom. I'm like, what is cocky?
Yes,
I don't even know, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, but you know what? That's truth. I have to be cocky and confident to get where I'm at, where I want to go. Otherwise, you're going to be weak. People don't care. They want to only see the final destination when you got there, but they don't know the whole path you're going through. So it's important to feel strength, but to get that energy, that's the problem. You have to invest time.
Yeah.
To something what's going to push you up higher.
No, and 100% because what you say, that lady called you cocky for whatever reason. But as you grow your business, as you grow and you succeed, you're going to have haters. You're going to have people looking down to you, talking bad about you. And that is part of growth.
Absolutely.
And if you're not thick-skinned enough, you better be, because it's coming. It's coming. And you shouldn't change who you are because people's comments. You should, because obviously you're doing great. You know where you're heading and you just have to keep pushing forward. Hey guys, by the way, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Now, obviously your story, it's amazing. I know a lot of people have gone through this. A lot of people probably are where you're right now. Maybe they're basically starting a business. Maybe they're a one-man show. What tips can you give the audience here about business, like in steps? Like what tips can you give to them?
I cannot empathize more than I keep saying the same thing. You are the only one. And once you start from yourself, and I'm maybe repeating myself, once you identify your problems, your fears, you will see things different way. You basically, where it's dark and it's scary, you go straight there.
I love that. Now, I want to dig more into that. So step one, right? Step one, what it seems to me you're saying is that you need to learn what you're doing wrong. What are your weaknesses? Now, what advice can you give? Like, for example, because everybody's going to say, oh, I'm great at this, I'm great at that. How can somebody learn their weaknesses? What process?
It's the opposite way. you ask yourself a question, what am I afraid of?
Okay.
It's so correlating with your goals, where you're going. For example, when I wanted my daughter, I had 3 boys, I wanted a daughter, and I asked myself, what I'm afraid of really in my life? And I'm like, I'm afraid of having another 4th baby and not being capable of supporting their life, their lifestyle, and I'm afraid of it, but I want it so bad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. So, but it's like, I have this expression, when you want your new shoes, you get rid of your old ones. And once you throw out the shoes and you have to go to a new meeting, you're like, the first thing you're going to go get new shoes. It's just the way it is. So you go straight towards your fears. And I had to go through psychologists to discuss what I'm afraid of, to discuss my problems. And eventually, you find out what fears you have, where it hurts.
Okay.
What stops you from scaling as a personality? Because the size of your business completely correlates with the size of your personality and your mindsets. If the mindset is somewhere here, there is no way you can go bigger and bigger and bigger, because you are the bottleneck.
You're the highest lid of the greatest.
We can talk about team building and how hard it is. We can talk about how you grow and trainings and everything. It's all the same thing. The first thing you want to do, work with yourself. Second thing, get yourself a mentor.
Love that.
You don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense at all. There are people who are running multi-billion businesses somehow. There is those memes in the social media saying, how come Elon Musk is running space and Teslas? And because he has more smarter people in his team than he.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. So why would I not hire a better installer? Why would I not hire a better marketing person? All you got to do, become a leader in your team, set the good goals you believe in. When you set the good goals, you have a story, you have authenticity. Eventually, you will get there. As long as you draw a picture of, where you're going, and if people believe in you, they will follow you and they will help you to achieve their goals and your goals together.
So going back to the fears, and obviously, you went to psychologists to basically understand your fears, and your fears, sometimes it becomes your why. Like, the reason I say why is because, we all have a biggest purpose, and that why is what keeps you pushing. That why is what wakes up in the morning. That why is what gets you through those hard times. Now, when you were going through your fears, any particular fear that maybe happened to you that you were able to overcome, how was that part?
Yeah, one of the most important things overall for a man is to accomplish himself, make sure that he supports his family. And that's been years and years and years, right? And ages. So, of course, as you mentioned, fears of failure or fear of abundance, stay alone, lose yourself. So fears of failure, this is something that pushed me to face that and understand what exactly I had. And I identify one thing, honestly, just recently, maybe 8 months ago only, what pushed me to a different level right away, and I'm still working on that one. And I had this thing I discovered called codependence, but the codependence is something not normally people have codependence with something like alcohol addictions, where you are codependent on your problems, on your partner problems, on your wife or husband or whoever it is. So you did completely rely on their emotions. So for example, if you are in a good stage of your mind, I feel happy. If you're in the bad, then I feel down because I take the responsibility on that one. So I had this fear of codependence, making people around me dependent on me. So unconsciously, I did many of those situations that everyone in my company, my wife, my kids, everyone to depend on me. This way, I was able to suck it in that energy from them because they call me, they want me, help me with this. And that's where I got the energy. But I realized that by listening to some professors, that I became a monster. I cannot outgrow myself. People cannot sell more than me because I want to show them authority. I'm better than you. So I had fears of somebody next to me
Doing better. Getting better results.
Because then maybe nobody gonna need me.
Yeah.
And who am I? But I this is how I get my energy, by making them dependent. So once I realized that, I'm telling you, I was crying.
It's like a switch, huh?
It was a huge switch. That's a shock. And then you understand that and you said to yourself, damn, do I want to live like that? Vulnerability is the biggest tool I got. Vulnerability for a man, it's so strong. It's opposite. It's not weakness.
Now, I love that, and that's obviously a fear in, going back to your tips. Now that you identified the fear, what are you doing to overcome the fear, to overcome the problem that you had? Like what tips can you give to them? Like, 1, 2, 3, do this, do this, do this.
Do everything completely opposite. Give them opportunity to express themselves, give them freedom, let them make mistakes, and the world is not gonna collapse. They will learn. If not, yes, sometimes you have to change the team members. You have to identify who is weak and why they're weak. Business is about the process. If something is not really working, it's either the process, and you can only blame yourself as an entrepreneur that you don't have right processes in the system.
Yeah.
And you have wrong people doing the process. It's simply extreme ownership on that. Nobody else can do better than you create those processes. If it doesn't work, change something.
Yeah, update it with the data.
Absolutely, update the process, completely fine. So when I realized that I have to do opposite to make them independent from me, that means I allow you to go deal with the best client of mine. I allow you to deal and fail $100,000+ deal, so I can learn as well and make you believe in yourself. What I did unconsciously before, I said, you're not meeting with this client without me. Or I can hear in the back office that you're meeting in the showroom with the high-end top client, celebrity, whatever, and I cannot freaking sit in the office like I have to go there, and I go there.
Nice.
Yes, I can close it, but what I'm gonna do if I'm on the Caribbean kite surfing and they have to close the deal, who's gonna run the business? It's not a business.
Yeah,
I'm a butcher.
It's a job.
Just simply, getting myself a job.
You created a job for yourself, and that's something that a lot of people are starting their business. They go, I'm gonna be a business owner. No, you're not gonna be a business owner yet. It's gonna take you a while to become a business owner. You're creating a job for yourself, and then eventually you're gonna be able to step out of the business by hiring the right mentors, hiring the right coaches, doing things right, hiring the right team, building a team and building a brand and so forth. I love that. I so understand that. Now, you just mentioned something, celebrities. There's a rumor that you guys are doing Messi's apartments or Messi's. Tell us a little about that.
Rumors go around, but no, we're not yet doing it because of whatever the situation they have in the unit. But yes, we get clients like that, celebrities, rappers, celebrities, sports, business celebrities, of course, especially with the buildings like Zaha Hadid. There's a lot of those in there. Sometimes when you deal with the projects, you don't really know who's the owner because they don't let you, they hide it. And for example, we get some brands, a design company from South Africa ordering the project, dealing with the project, but you don't even know who's the client. So
speaking about your clientele, obviously you made a really good point in the beginning, quality over quantity. And I know a lot of people in your industry, construction industry, that you service people, one of the biggest things for them is like, I rather work with a quality client than work with non-quality clients because, they think, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, they think this is better, there's more profit, it's easier to run. What can you tell us about working with a very exclusive high-end clientele? How are they different to the average person?
In the high-end industry, there are as well different clientele with the way they treat people. Some of them are very easy, some of them are really hard. It's the same thing, but what we care about is the quality over quantity, and it's difficult to maintain the discipline of installers, difficult to maintain the quality standards, and sometimes we have to fire one of the installers just because he's not wearing the right sneakers.
Wow.
The right color. Because what happens that, for example, I'm just giving an example, we had situations where you have a pink hat, for example, and somebody get comments on that. It starts wrong conversations. You have to be neutral with clients. You don't want to get into political. You don't want to talk about,
religion.
You don't want to talk about orientation. It has nothing to do. You have to be so neutral.
Yeah.
Your job is to do your job and do it really good. Do it on time, deliver on time, come on time. Everything has to be perfect because that's why you're getting paid for.
Of course.
That's why I don't go low on the prices, meaning that if I have a price, that's for the reason.
Yeah.
And the reason why, because I want to deliver. And if I'm not getting paid how can I deliver better than anybody else?
Yeah, and that's a great point that you're bringing up, especially in a service business. And it's true what you said, like whether you're dealing with a quality, high-end quality client or a standard client, you still want to deliver high-end. And people, every person that I met, they always expect that service. But then when some people, they want to negotiate your price down because they say you're too expensive, but then they also want to get the high quality job, it's impossible. You cannot pay an installer $15 an hour and expect the installer to do a $40 installer's job. Wear the right shoes, work clean, work organized, be very meticulous, very detailed, because that's what it takes to install a product that you install. You know, you guys install a very high-end finished product. A finished product meaning like you're gonna be able to see it, you're gonna be able to touch it, so everything has to be perfect. Because if it's not perfect, then it's your reputation on the line. So I totally agree with that. Now, going back to the question, I guess whether you're working with a really exclusive high-end and a standard, it's pretty much the same because you're gonna get both worlds. Some clients are very understanding, some clients are very going and then they'll be okay, but then some clients, you get the tough clients.
You get very tough clients in that industry because they are demanding.
Very demanding.
They're very demanding.
I have a theory why they're so demanding. Why do you think they're so demanding?
First of all, they're unique. There are not too many of them, and they always know that you want them. But it's more about values. I always say business solves problems, right? And if you're not solving a problem,
what are you doing?
You're creating a problem, then nobody's gonna pay you the high ticket price. So when you step into somebody's high-end apartment, condo, house, you have to be clean. You have to be perfect. You don't have to talk, chit chat, and etc. You have to make sure you're the high standard. But actually, it starts from the very beginning when they come and visit you. When you're a salesperson, you're a consultant. It starts from very beginning. You set the standard. What coffee do you deliver to them? What water do you deliver to them? How much time you spend them? We'll have nobody in the showroom at the same time. We have a VIP service, meaning that it's locked. Nobody knocks on the door and walk in. If somebody walks in, it's probably a competitor trying to understand what we are doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
By appointment only.
Absolutely.
I love that.
By the appointment only. So if you take your time, if you do everything on time, if you do everything quality, they will wait for you and they will pay you the high ticket price because they see the exchange of value into the money. It's no problem. They're just buying value from you, buying that quality service. Who wants to deal with a cheaper guy but then have problems?
Yeah.
How come when I come back to you to give you a best service, if I ever have to come back to give you a warranty service, how can I afford that if I don't charge for this at the very beginning? So I think you have to bond and understand what really clients need. And if people say go an extra mile, I'll go extra 7 miles.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
So what was your theory?
Huh?
Why are they so demanding?
My theory is because they're already used to it. Like, you know, they have mates, they have this, they have that, they work with the very best. So once you're already 5-10 years used to that, you kind of like, that's your expectation, right? That's what you expect because if you have money, you're going to get the best of everything. So then that's really your now that becomes your standard.
Absolutely. I remembered one of my mentors who is no longer with us anymore. And one of his books says, when you give a tip somewhere, when you do a service, even before you getting a service, for example, at the restaurant, you tip and you're gonna get best service right away, even before they service you. Why? Because they feel like they have to give it to you. Why would you give a tip after you have done your dinner? Because that's gonna be, that's gonna be like, let me guess, will I get a good service or bad? Why won't you set the rhythm right away by simply giving a tip before?
I love that. That's a great tip. So one of the things that I like to do is when I go to a hotel, like when a resort, when I first get there, you know, whoever's gonna be helping me with the bags or whatever, I give them a nice tip because they talk, right? They know each other. So you want to set the standard so like that you get the best service for your stay.
You don't want to get a lottery. You're coming here for the vacation, for example. Yeah. Do you want that a good vacation? Because that's a memory for your kids, for your wife, for your family. So you can ruin it right away at the very beginning, or you can set the tone.
I love it. I love it. Russ, now for the listeners here, you know, obviously everybody's going to love you. Your story is great, where you come from, what you have achieved. You obviously have a lot to offer, not just in your services, but in your business journey. Now, if somebody wants to talk to you, get to know you more, or work with you in your services, where can they find you? Where can they see you?
For the final clients, you can always find us on Instagram, @VellumDesign_official. But if you are interested in doing similar business, what do I mean by that? When before I used to have competitors knocking on the door and trying to find out what do I do different than them, and that's a worldwide actually. Why do I do something different and able to achieve those high tickets, those best clients, those best projects? I used to hide that because, ego used to say to me, no, you don't share this.
Yeah, it's mine.
And that was so stupid because when I realized that actually, I have another 40, 50 years to live, do I really gonna be able to manage to achieve everything, take this whole money in the world? But why? You don't even need that, So I decided to myself, it's time to share. I can share all my secrets. How do I do business? How do I deal with clients? How do I treat my team members? Everything I have on the table, open cards. Why? Because honestly, there is no competition. In my perspective, there is no competition because you have to be authentic, simply being you, and people will like you.
Yeah.
And if you feel sketchy, nothing gonna happen.
Yeah, and like you said, there's business for everybody. There's enough business out there, guys. There's enough business. I feel the same, just share the information, and then the people that are like you, like-minded people that are trustworthy, are hard workers, are committed, they're gonna make it.
They're gonna make it. We started a wholesale business called Stretch Sitting Supply, a very generic brand, with the only training center in the United States and the only factory which is UL certified for the products. I invite you to find us on Instagram, on the website, Stretch Sitting Supply. I will teach you. We have online courses. We have academy physical. We basically all the support we can give, we will give it from the bottom of our heart.
I love the offer, guys. By the way, if you guys are not understanding what the offer is, if you're starting in your business, if you're in construction right now, if you're doing some trade, this is a good opportunity for you guys to kind of like just start your business with their product. And they'll teach you how to do it, which is called collaboration. I'm sure there's some kind of piece and stuff like that, but that's a good opportunity for somebody to just get it started, or basically maybe you just went out of business and you want to start something new. That's a good opportunity for you guys to kind of take this opportunity and advantage. And
absolutely,
that's awesome.
There's always price for action.
Of course.
You getting something for free, do you really expect to get something good quality?
Never. Funny that you said, because I've done webinars in the past and I do sometimes other stuff when I'm doing more stuff now. But when I used to do the webinars, I used to do it for free. We'll get like 100, 200 people signed up, and then at the time of webinar, you'll get like maybe 10% show up.
No commitment.
But when there's money involved, people will commit. So for sure, you have to charge 100%, because that's how you're gonna weed out the...
Absolutely. I have continuously going through different courses and webinars and whatever myself with different mentors, and there are tens of thousands of dollars I spend on them.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing better than learn and see different perspectives. Because no way you want to figure it out yourself. It's a waste of time.
100%. Russ, it's been a true honor having you here today, brother. Thank you so much for sharing your story, for sharing your tips. I know our viewers are gonna love this. Until the next one, can't stop, won't stop. Guys, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's go.